Hey there, movie fans. This is your Comtrack movie host, Tim Leifheit, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. And I'm here to tell you that sadly this week I won't have a brand new episode for you this week. Kinda. Instead, here's an episode from the older days when I first started trying to get this show off the ground and initially abandoned. But I wound up liking the concept for the show so much that I revived it to what it is, what you're listening to now. So kick back as we go back in time for an oldie but goodie episode of Comtrack, and as always, thanks for listening. Welcome to Comtrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone. I'm your host, Tim Leifheit.
And I'm Jonathan Knoell.
And welcome to the series, man. This is awesome.
Woo-hoo!
Can you believe we actually got press for this thing before we even started this? This is
Crazy
awesome.
as it sounds, it's true.
I know. This is awesome. This is the best day of my life. So, let's get started.
All right.
Actually, the whole reason why we're here is because of Mr. Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman. I mean, I've been watching... or listening.
Listening to?
Yeah, watching. Well, I've been watching Batman,
Right.
the Batman movies with his commentary because, frankly, you know, how else do you actually plan on getting through those movies without someone there kind of perceptively next to you to go through the haunting nightmares of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin?
Because Joel Schumacher can suck it.
Oh, Jesus. Well, his movies can suck it.
Yeah.
He's a nice dude.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, holy shit. But yeah, here we are, and we're actually going to start out with our favorite Batman movie because we actually share the exact same theatrical Batman movie as a preference, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This was a movie released back in 1993 in theaters, and it was done by the same people who did the acclaimed series Batman Animated Series. So Bruce Timm, Eric Radomski, Alan Burnett, Paul Dini, Kevin Conroy, and Mark Hamill as Batman and Joker respectively. It actually was a bomb at the box office because
Nobody saw it because it was hampered by production problems. Warner Brothers told our team of intrepid animators and writers that this would be a direct-to-video thing. But then halfway through production, bam! No, we're going to do it in theaters. It's going to be really awesome.
So when word got back to the animators that they had to reformat it, they scrambled to get everything from full screen to widescreen because, see, in those days, kids, when you all the direct-to-video stuff and all the TV stuff, it was done in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which basically means it looks like a square for those old televisions. You know, the ones that you had
the
when
big
you were
tube
kids.
screens like I have behind us.
Oh,
Well, soon we'll have behind us.
oh yeah, totally.
No, I will.
I believe you. But in theaters they want things in widescreen because, you know, that's the kind of cinematic look to things. So they scrambled to reformat things, and it was and things got so crazy and hectic towards the end of it that they really didn't have a whole lot of time or even money left over for advertising. So because you never saw it, it's because they didn't get word out.
Yeah,
there was no advertising, and as soon as Warner Brothers saw the box office numbers, they pulled it from theaters, and that preventing you from really seeing it in theaters. Although, can you imagine going back in the day to seeing this movie
That'd be
in
awesome.
the theater, dude?
Just Batman just everywhere,
Dude,
all over that screen. Oh.
Fuck The Dark Knight, seeing it in IMAX. This is the Batman movie to see in the theaters, dude.
Yes, it is.
Oh my! And the score by Shirley Walker and those big, like 7.1 surround sounds.
Oh,
yes.
Oh God! You just made my mind gasm.
Right? And we'll get to the score because the score is absolutely fantastic in ways you can't even imagine.
So, how did you see this movie the first time around?
You know what? Okay. I'm convinced when I came out of the womb of my mother, I was watching Batman.
Well, I should
the
hope it
Animated
wasn't
Series.
somebody else's womb.
But that was like one of my first shows that I ever watched. I mean, the shows that I really remember from the early years, I think was it was. Oh God, I'm trying to really think way back in the days because I'm 22 years old and I already have senior moments. So thinking this far back is a challenge. But Batman the Animated Series definitely was one. I think Inspector Gadget was another one. Gumby, the claymation stuff was...
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, that was early embedded into my life.
One of my friends fell into a kiln!
But Batman's always been there, dude. And I think it came off the air when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And I almost threw a tantrum, and thank God my uncle had the foresight to tape some of the episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And I watched them endlessly, man. And eventually this came out on VHS, and I'm pretty sure, they got it for me one Christmas. I think it was actually like Christmas of 95, 90... No. It was, I think it was like Christmas of like 96, 97, because I remember it was a Christmas where I woke up and I got that cassette for Christmas. But I also got this tiny little Batman chair. And my sister got a similar chair, but it was in the style of Winnie the Pooh. Because she's 3 years younger than me, and she was like 2 at the time.
Right.
But yeah, I remember that, and sitting down to watch it, and just being in awe of the movie the entire time. And especially the fact that I had no idea really of what was really going on with the movie. Because, to me it was just, hey, it's Batman!
Exactly.
I mean, this is in the days when I was like, hey, it's Batman with Batman and Robin. I mean, I was an idiot back then. I would actually...
You were cinema illiterate.
Oh my God,
There's
yes.
a difference.
Obscenely so. I mean, I was watching Batman Forever and Batman and Robin the same way that I was watching Batman and Batman Returns.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, I know. I was stupid in those days, and that's why when Batman Begins came out, I was like, ugh, they're making another Batman movie. This is going to suck. Thank God Chris Nolan turned it around for the better.
Let's see. I first saw this movie... Well, the thing is, I'm similarly inclined where I've had Batman in my life since infancy. Conversely, I also had Star Trek and Star Wars simultaneously in my childhood. But Batman was always one of those, you could never find it. So when the full series came out, that's when I really watched Batman animated series.
I know.
Fully, deeply, immersively Batman.
Yeah, see, I was actually pampered as a kid because I had cassette tapes, and even though it was like maybe like a quarter of the series, I still had episodes to watch over and over again.
Yeah, I had a few of those too, especially when they were the Batman Superman hour.
Oh my God, yes, I watched that so many times as well.
Yeah, I actually still have a tape of Brightest Day.
Yeah, oh cool, because when those came out, I mean, I was just eating it up because I didn't have Cartoon Network as a kid.
Yeah, we had Kids WB.
We had Kids WB, but even when that went off, and Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and Pinky and the Brain and Men in Black the series, if everyone remembers that.
Oh, that's such a weird memory.
I know, right? But it was awesome. And when all that went off, it was just Nickelodeon. So I was going to SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, and the likes. So Batman was completely out of my life, and not to mention that I was looking at Batman and Robin and Batman Forever thinking, oh my God, these movies are horrible.
Oh, yeah.
So he was so Batman the Animated Series literally was shoved into the corner of my basement and left to collect dust. And it wasn't until, about when I was in late high school where I dusted them off, and I'm like, holy shit, these are way better than I remembered.
And then, similarly, when I was in like 7th or 8th grade, I actually watched them fully again, and that is when I finally watched Mask of the Phantasm. And it was just it was kind of a rainy day, as I recall, much like today, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with my brother and my sister, and I'm just like, all right, we're gonna do it. We're gonna watch Phantasm. And we did. And it's still the most awesome Batman movie.
It really is. I mean, from like the moment the music starts playing, straight to the very, very last shot. I mean, it is, wow. It is the Batman we deserve.
Yes.
Because I mean, I don't know really how to just describe this movie. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but
I would just say it like this: this Batman movie is the definitive Batman movie. There's nothing about it that is too extreme. It is literally Batman out of the book.
It really is. And not to mention, it's also a really fascinating story. Because when have we ever heard the story about, well, what about a time early in Batman's career where he had a choice of choosing to be Batman and going through with his vows, or actually being happy.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a really compelling story. I mean, a real great psychological depth into the character that we really haven't seen, not just in the comics, or in the animated series or even the movies. And thank God this movie came out when it did, because I think this came out 1 year after Batman Returns.
Yes.
So the cinematic Batman was, it was still up there.
Yeah.
Because Tim Burton was still holding it, being, somewhat earnest with it. But it was starting to take that plummet that would eventually lead to the first shoe being dropped, as I'm fond of saying.
Yeah.
And I actually remember that Roger Ebert and
Gene
Siskel actually did a review of this movie, and they're like, dude, this movie is even better than the original 1989 movie.
Yeah.
So when Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel both give this movie a big thumbs up, when they were like, meh, to 89 Batman, you knew that this was something special. And it holds up just as strong as today.
Absolutely. So, with all that said, would you like to get it started?
Oh, hell yes, dude. I've been waiting to watch this thing all day. In the description below, there's going to be a little timer button where you can actually sync up the movie to our podcast. So
Same with on Mixcloud.
So you can watch it, just with us. So we're going to start playing the movie now.
All right.
There's
Bugs Bunny.
The Warner Brothers logo. Fade out. And the music. Dude. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. This is the Batman score of the ages, dude.
It's true.
Because, I remember getting the soundtrack to this thing, and I think they had a few dark images of the images from the comics. And when you have this, dun, 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 holy Jesus! And I've got some big speakers, man. And when you hear that choir, the choir's just starting to sing, it's terrifying.
Oh yes, and the choir is actually saying the names of different people in the crew and actors in reverse. Yep. It's amazing.
And the thing is, the music to me, why it's so perfect, is because it not only captures this dark, brooding creature of the night that seemingly will kill you and come out of the shadows, but the da, 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 that little moment right there is where you can actually feel the tragedy behind Bruce Wayne.
Oh, absolutely.
And the strength that it requires to get out of that kind of tragedy. That's where the Batman really gets empowered. I mean, Danny Elfman did a great job with the march,
and that's the one that we usually hear with the dun 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 dun.
But this one felt like Batman.
Yes,
it felt like a real character thing. So now we're out of the opening titles, which is all CG.
Yeah, it's entirely CG, and really surprisingly, has held up well. I'm surprised.
No kidding. I mean, and not to mention that it actually goes well with the famous Dark Deco that these guys are famous for. Dark Deco kids is when they paint things on black paper. So they actually have everything come out of the shadows to give it a real moody atmosphere. They did that on the show, and it looks gorgeous.
Now, fun fact, that CGI opening was actually supposed to take the place of traditional backgrounds.
Yep.
Not soon after this premiered. But because of the way it looks, because it still does look like it's CG, you can tell, they decided to not go with CGI backgrounds.
And right already, dude, 2.5 minutes in, Batman just comes in, BAM! And kicks the Jesus out of him. And I look
kicks the Jesus out of him.
Oh, I know, right? But, I mean, look at this, dude. Batman's just pounding ass. I love this shot. He's trying to get the gun, and then BAM! Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh,
that's
damn.
Batman right there.
That is Batman.
Oh, my God. And you know what the thing is? I also noticed
And he's not chatty at all, either.
No, dude. He doesn't. He's just out there he's not even there to take names. He's just there to land punches. Here's the Phantasm. Dude, already, 3 minutes in, we're already getting everything, right up front. It's awesome, man. And
that was a lot of bullets in that gun.
Yeah. I still want to know how those bullets were able to go through the smoke. Because we'll figure it out later who it is under there. But the another thing that I got to point out here is the sound design, dude. The sound of the Phantasm's voice is awesome, especially if you got... Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this movie, go see it on a really big screen, and if you can, get some kick-ass speakers.
Oh, yeah.
The sound and music to this movie is just out of this world. And if you actually noticed earlier when Batman was punching the fuck out of those guys, they were actually using the same punches from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. I love this.
Well, it's a very, very simple and very common punch sound effect.
Yeah, and that was actually made from a leather jacket with a bat. Love
yeah.
That shit. All right, here we go. And this I thought was just like really creepy. This, you can almost tell that this dude's like a Batman knockoff. Because normally, Batman would jump up and just like obscure his cape, but. And now here's another big thing about this movie. In the animated series, we had Jim Gordon was shot, and there were a couple of people who got seriously hurt. But right here, this dude fucking straight up dies.
Yeah,
they whacked Chucky Saul straight up, and that was a nice little frame. And this shot I still remember from being the trailer. Where the announcer's like, Batman faces his greatest enemy. And he just cuts to this next shot, and I'm like, stairs! And here we go, the Councilman Reeves.
Yes.
This character, oh God, who was the guy who voiced this character? I forget. I'm going to look it up.
Here's Commissioner Gordon, as done by the incomparable Bob Hastings.
Yeah, that's right. I believe it was...
He died not too long ago.
Oh my God, he did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Big life, too.
Well, they're also setting up this nice little, really smart little who watches the Watchmen sort of thing with the councilman. He's got a point. Who doesn't want some crazy dude? Oh,
and also Alfred Zimbalist Jr., who also died a couple years ago.
Yep, and always the faithful Alfred.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, sir, I've put away your bombs and exploding gas balls. Thank you, Alfred. and we got the Bat computer doing some stuff. Now, this kind of stuff always did go over my head, but now watching it as an adult, I'm like, dude, this is awesome because they're being earnest with this dialogue, man.
Mm-hmm. I also always liked the fact that with the Bat computer, it always sounded like old microfilm machines.
Yeah, that was it. That was the thing, and the fact that all the TVs in there are black and white. So
yeah,
because I think Bruce Timm, when he was designing the world, he said he wanted to make it look like the 1930s World Fair went on for another 50 years.
I like that. That's a really great way of looking at that.
Mm-hmm. Even things like the police blimps, which never existed. That's just a cool visual image, especially from the opening intro from Batman. Wayne Manor, everyone. We are. Where are we?
We're at a party.
Yeah, we're about 6:50 minutes, about 7 minutes in. Yeah. And we're already at Wayne Manor. And look at this, dude. Bruce gets lots of pussy. He does, dude.
It's true.
I mean, holy Christ. We actually rewatched Batman Sub-Zero, and we're going to do a commentary at a later time for you guys. But we were like, dude, this Bruce Wayne gets, all the pussy in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, because, living a life of crime, shit like this happens to him. Boom.
Danger.
Yeah. Bruce is not the best with the ladies, unless you're a cat.
Right.
Oh, man. But, although I'm trying to think what else I can say right here, because this Councilman Reeves character, who was the dude who voiced it?
I am looking now.
All right, cool, because I remember watching the movie, and I was like, all right. I kind of...
the first name drop of Andrea
Beaumont.
Oh,
yeah, that's right, yep. Because that's another cool thing that these guys did. They didn't, pull a love interest that was known from the comics, like Julie Madison or Silver St. Cloud. Mm-hmm. But they made a brand new one. And this stuff right here, moments like this, where it's really visual, really atmospheric, and the music is just chewing the scenery.
Hart Bochner is the
That's
name.
right, yep. He's Councilman Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
But this right here where Bruce is just looking at his parents, dude. This is stuff that's rarely captured in superhero movies, where they focus too much on the brooding and not the actual tragedy itself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dark and brooding, look at me, and this is for the poster because I'm edgy. And instead of, actually trying to take in the tragedy that behind the brooding.
Yeah.
And right here is Andrea. She's voiced by Dana Delaney, who, get this, actually voiced Lois Lane on the Superman animated series.
Right. Also, don't you think she looks a lot like Katharine Hepburn?
Now that you mention it, that's actually a really good way of looking at it. Like a really young Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, like Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn era.
Yeah, because I'm used to seeing her in her later years, like when she was like 50 or 60.
Like Adam's Rib and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking more like Bringing Up Baby and such.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I mean, even Bruce looks like. I love how they just the subtlety in the design. Just really, they know how to make him just slightly younger than from where we are in the present.
Yeah, and this is really before the big animation shift where they went into Gotham Knights.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
And I also love the fact that just after he makes his vow to become vengeance of the night to avenge his parents, immediately he meets the woman who almost ended it all.
Yeah.
Isn't that's really
the boy billionaire.
Oh, I love this little moment right here. Why do you care? I don't. My mom was asking. And you can tell, and the chemistry between them is like super strong, which, when you think about it, in a live action movie, that's relatively easy because you got a person to sit there and interact with and, actually touch. But in voiceover, you have to completely emote through almost nothingness.
And this is just taken right out of Batman Year One.
Oh, I know, right? This is definitely from the early days when he was on the East Side. I can't believe it's gotten this worse. Although this is played up considerably, but because it was actually this is a family movie. I mean, granted, this is like a really earnest Batman family movie, but isn't that amazing that the Chris Nolan Batman movies that were made strictly for adults is not quite as good as the family friendly or quote unquote family friendly version for Bruce Timm and Eric Radomski.
Yeah.
It's kind of awesome. And I love this shit. Say your prayers, sucker. And then, bam! We don't even have batarangs yet. We just have the throwing stars, because in the animated series, he actually trained in Japan.
Yeah.
Along with a whole bunch of other places.
Trained with famous martial artists, with Zatara, Zatanna's father.
Yep, who trained him to become an escape artist, along with a whole bunch of other mysterious places. Now this sequence right here, it almost plays just like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Very much so.
I mean, not to the point where it's not too far from the original tone of the movie, but still giving that action adventure vibe to it that the movie kind of needs for like a Batman movie. Which is also interesting because technically there's no Batman in this sequence.
Exactly.
Oh, and this moment coming up, right here. And it's Bullock, not as Detective Bullock, not as Detective Bullock, but as a police officer. And I love how they give him the right amount of comic relief.
Oh yeah, they always animated Bullock interestingly.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because he's often played for laughs every once in a while in the animated series. But
he's always a very fluid character.
Oh yeah, definitely, and even more so in the comics. So if you actually take a look at the comic history, he's got some pretty fucked up shit going on,
and a mustache.
This is awesome. How cool!
Oh shit!
How cool would this have been to see in like a live action sequence?
It's true, and none of this here couldn't be done in a live action.
Oh
sequence.
Yeah, all of this could have easily been done just as well in on a live action movie. And although I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because to me I think it was actually, yeah, I thought that's kind of cool. Batman.
With a hammer.
With a hammer. Captain Hammer. The hammer is my penis.
Actually, I was thinking more like Old Boy, but, you know.
Yeah, whatever. Again, there's the Raiders of the Lost Ark reference on the front of the truck. But the thing is, I'm kind of glad that this movie is done in animation and not live action, because there was a thing that I was reading when I was reading Year One. David Mazzucchelli, thank you.
Mazzucchelli, sorry.
Yeah, sorry if we butchered the name. But he wrote once that comic books are true when they're drawn.
Yeah.
And Batman being a comic book hero, this is and it really does reign true because when they draw Batman for these series, he's real, dude. I mean, Christian Bale and Michael Keaton can do the best that they can to bring flesh and blood to the character and make it something tangible that you can touch at cons, but it's still slightly too grounded in reality. There's not enough comic book in it to really give it that. Yeah, right here is where he's like, we've got to strike fear with him in the start. And he's like, that's not... It's close, because you can tell Bruce is trying to find Batman.
Trip over some loose cash. Jesus God.
Mm-hmm. And I love how they give Andrea some real spunk to her. Mm-hmm. Because, they give her some real intelligence, some really witty lines. Because if you remember in the Batman movies, the live-action ones at the time, when were the female characters given something really interesting to say?
Beyond Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, so this was a nice glance, especially for a Batman who really needs chemistry. And I love this. Look how sweet this is. Kicking the crap out of each other until they kiss. Mm-hmm. Just like all couples do, right?
Can you dance? I don't know. Should you dance?
And I love this look at Alfred.
Oh.
It just composes himself and runs out. It's like Bruce later on just tells him when he's like changing out of his bat suit, because he'll have a Dark Knight Returns moment where he's just standing naked in the Bat Cave, and then Alfred walks in and goes, "Ugh," and then Bruce looks at him and says, "Let's face it, this isn't the worst thing you caught me doing."
Yes, we need a little more Iron Man for all this.
Yes, totally, more Iron Man.
More Iron Man for the comics god.
All right, now take a look at this scenery, dude. I remember when this dude came out and the cigar came out. I'm like, dude, this
guy means business.
Oh no kidding, because the atmosphere in it is just fantastic.
It's very Godfather.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, well, Godfather was supposed to be in the daylight, but who's counting? It's really Halloween, just classic 80s horror, and I really love how those guys they say the bat that iced this guy. And then here we go. This is a second appearance of the Phantasm. Buzz. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, last time I watched a thing with Buzz, it was Mr. B Natural.
Oh, man.
So, I'm going with the nothing much wrong with Buzz, except his hair.
That is literally the best voice you can put over the Phantasm. Can we just replace the Phantasm voice with that?
Oh, hell no. No.
And I also really love the music from this, where it goes.
Oh wow! The voice of Phantasm.
Yeah,
Stacy Keach.
Oh, why? Right on. Yeah, because he was also. You'll see him later in the movie, but he voices a dude named Carl. We'll identify him for you, and I love that right there is an awesome reveal. And I also love these kind of cryptic little things like "time to pay for your sins."
Yeah,
I mean this is evil.
Yeah.
And now right here, this moment, whoosh! What the? That was spooky. Even as a kid, I'm like, this is a little scary. And now I'm like, dude. Oh man, I was raised right on this kind of stuff.
Oh, same.
Now isn't Abe Vigoda in this movie?
He is.
Who does he play? Isn't he the monster that we're gonna see?
Salvatore Valestra?
Yeah, we're gonna. So we'll see him in a little bit. So sorry for the spoilers.
Oh no, that's fine.
But well, it was more to the listeners. What few listeners are anyway,
we got to start somewhere, man.
Yep. So you always lure a loser, Mr. Bronski. Now, this is another thing that I kind of prompted me to do another horror movie about being buried alive, because I thought, and the thing is, this scene was really scary as a kid for me, because in the backyard there was this little stairway to the basement made of concrete, and it was shaped exactly like a grave. And when I was down there as a kid, I was expecting for that angel to fall right on top of me. So that freaked me out as a kid, just because I didn't like going back there. It was creepy and dirty, filled with leaves. And again, dude, we get another straight up death.
Oh yeah, with straight up murders in this one.
Mm-hmm. And if you notice, there's like serious firearms. I remember back in when Batman the Animated Series was coming out, there was like a lot of controversy for that, because originally it was supposed to be for like ray guns and lasers and that sort of thing, some stuff that really couldn't exist other than like comic books and such. But no,
here he is.
Yeah, here it is, Salvatore Valestra, the next mob leader, voiced by Abe Vigoda.
Yeah,
a really cool Godfather reference here. Can you believe he's still alive now?
That's crazy.
He's like 93. I mean, we've had so many jokes about how Abe Vigoda's been dead over the years, and nope, he's still kicking people.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Hey, Abe Vigoda, if you want to come on our show, totally come on.
The unlikelihood.
Oh, right. Right. But...
Oh, my God.
And now I love this right here, how Commissioner Gordon's like, dude, if you guys want him, you go get him. I'm not going to be a part of this.
Yeah, exactly.
He trusts Batman with a vengeance, dude. And he's like, yeah, let's smooch right now. That's totally the idea he had in mind. But dude, that's what I love, because there's later in the movie, spoilers, there's a hunt for Batman sequence that Commissioner Gordon has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
And again, it's right out of Batman Year One, too.
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude, definitely. But can we just say that Bruce Timm did it first?
Yes.
He hunted Batman before Chris Nolan hunted Batman. And again, here's Batman doing some detective work. And I think they took a note from the first Batman '89 movie about how he thinks out loud, because apparently, genius people like Einstein used to think out loud because it's supposed to help your brain, and they use that characterization over to Batman because he's super smart. That moment where the shadow engulfs the Wayne's gravestone is just, dude. I mean, it's creepy.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah.
Nice mirroring there.
Oh yeah, and now, now watching this again, is this a little far fetched that she kind of guesses that Batman is Bruce Wayne?
I don't know. It could be, but mainly because of that whole mirroring with the with he looks over the side of the gravestone and there she is again. She could probably figure it out from that, but it's kind of one of those long lost memory type situations.
But you know what? We'll take a leap of faith on this one, because granted, they make Andrea a really smart lady, so we'll go with it. It's a little far-fetched for these guys, and especially with the caliber that we're dealing
with.
Look
at the
my God, dude. They just know how to make Gotham look gorgeous. I mean, Anton Furst, who was the production designer on
the original '89 Batman
and Batman Returns, he knew how to make Gotham look amazing, but these guys know how to make Gotham really come from the comics.
Yeah.
At least truest to it could be. I mean, Anton Furst obviously did the best job for live action, but Bruce Timm, Eric Radomski, all these guys who worked on the animated series in this film knew how to bring Gotham out. And I love the image. Batman really is a creeper, isn't he?
Investigative.
Yeah, well, again, it's not the creepiest moment he ever did.
It's true.
Like handing Amanda Waller her towel from the shower, and he just looks at her and says, "Get dressed."
Yeah.
And right here we got the world of the future.
Yes.
This is another really cool design, and I love those two kids in the background. That totally wasn't us as kids, no, was it?
No. See, right now here I'm looking for the requisite Bruce Timm or Paul Dini cameos, because there are always a few characters that are designed specifically to look like them.
Mm-hmm. Look at that, man. Bruce is happy.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is one dude I really
and then
wish...
check out that car back there.
Oh, I know. The
automobiles of the future.
I just love how automobile is the biggest word in that last shot, just to kind of really emphasize Batmobile.
Yeah. Oh, and it's even red too, like in Detective Comics number 27.
Yeah, you know, it's very reminiscent of like the Human Torch suit before the Human Torch suit.
Right.
So again, Bruce Timm did it first. So, but oh man, that was another really cool design that they were able to do. Not just giving this kind of retro future sort of thing in the regular world, but they also have like a little insight to the future itself.
Yeah.
But going back to Batman, look at him. He's so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Batman is the one character that I always root for that he never has to be, because dude, for a guy that has had so much trauma in his life, I'm like, I always pray that he has a happy ending.
But it's the curse of Batman. He can never be truly happy. Is the thing.
I honestly wish he was. No matter what story it is, no matter how good or bad, I always wish Batman was happy at the end of his career, at least. Not like in Dark Knight Returns, where he's this bitter, lonely old man leading a bat army.
But like Batman Beyond,
or even Batman Beyond, where he's just like this recluse, this old sour puss of a recluse, hidden away in dark Wayne Manor with only a Ace the Bat Hound to accompany him. I always wish Bruce Wayne the best in the world, because
he deserves the best in the world.
He does, man. I mean, money doesn't change that.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, and I really did, and now watching this movie again, I really do wish that he and Andrea got together, but
it couldn't happen.
Yep, because crime in Gotham City is always fucking with Batman, because the mob is about to, in about 3, 2...
Oh, Carl.
Yep. Carl Beaumont, the same dude who voices the Phantasm, which is a...
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yes, it is, and we'll find out why later. But yeah, dude, the mob walks in, fucks around with Carl Beaumont's business.
I'm clumsy. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, fucks around with his business, dude. And because of that, later on, it just completely screws up Bruce Wayne. I love that line.
Oh, that's just a great line. More people should have lines like that.
Yeah, and now that character that you saw looking in the mirror, we'll get back to him, because there's a really big twist about that, which is awesome. This sequence coming up right here is probably one of my favorite sequences from the movie, because I had a little Robin cycle that looked a lot like those motorcycles that these jackasses are riding around. Mm-hmm. So I used to reenact this scene a lot with my Batman toys. And again, here we go as Bruce, very year one-ish.
Yeah.
Ready to just kick some ass, even though he's not afraid to.
Oh yeah,
be Bruce
he's going to
Wayne.
jump right into the fray here.
Oh yeah, dude. Because I mean, look at this. I mean, you can't just stand by. And I love this. Oh, bam! Smacks into him, and he's not pulling any punches, dude.
Nah.
And whoa! I love it. Anytime they go over like a over a bridge, they have to hit the water because they don't want anyone dying. There are too many people dying.
That takes a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
That guy right there. You almost would have thought he was gonna be the Joker, but that's not to be, folks. Later on. Anyway, I love this moment. Jumps it up on there, and then BAM! That's Batman right there.
It reminds me a lot of the first episode of Batman Beyond, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a Joker fight that happens a lot like that.
Oh my God, you're totally right. Although in that one, Bruce Wayne actually kicks their ass with a cane.
With a cane.
And this time he gets his ass handed to a cane.
Oh, that's going to be a couple of broken ribs right there.
Yeah, I'd say so. Dude, how many ribs do you think Batman's broken in his... He must have broken all of them.
I feel like he's by now replaced every single rib.
Jesus. And the guys are off with that fucking awful... That's such a... And dude, Batman, and here's Batman coming through Bruce's psyche, and even through the drawing board.
Hey, look, it's Space Ghost.
Oh, I know, right? Actually, Bruce Timm totally stole like a lot of Batman's facial features off of Space Ghost.
Yeah. Funny enough, did you know that Jack Kirby and the creator of Space Ghost, Alex Toth, were best friends?
No way! That's awesome. Sweet. And again,
in turn, Jack Kirby and Bob Kane were really good friends too. So.
Yep. All the DC and Marvel guys, pretty much anyone who was working in comics in those days were like super best friends.
Oh yeah, they had to be like a band of brothers.
Yeah, definitely.
Because to be working in comics is kind of a taboo.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now this moment right here is, man, Bruce. I really want him to go to Aunt Andrea because.
But then we wouldn't have Batman.
Even so, man, maybe. Because this is probably my favorite scene in the entire movie, let alone the entire Batman animated universe, because this is a moment where Batman's begging to take back his vow because he has a chance at happiness. This moment right here, I can give more money to the cops, and it's different now.
Exactly.
And the music is like, you promised.
Yeah. It's unrelenting, and just look at the
way the rain's falling down as if they're tears,
and the way that they place the headstone in that shot where you've got it just straight on.
This moment, Bruce. I mean, they don't actually have that in the soundtrack, but just through the music and through the atmosphere, you can hear his parents' voices.
Yeah.
Calling out to him. That takes a lot of thematic material.
Yeah.
And I love this. Maybe they already have. Maybe they sent me. Dude, what a heartbreaking moment. You can tell he isn't just...
Yeah, he is in agony.
And it's still carrying over to this day. Because, dude, I'm so sad for Batman. I want him to get out okay.
And then he just disappears.
Yep. Because the night and the war, as he calls it, must go on. God, what a wonderful moment for Batman history, folks. I mean, that's like the epitome. And here we are, Salvatore Valestro. Get in.
Jesus.
I know. And now here's another really great thing, because if you noticed earlier in all the flashbacks, like the one you saw earlier, he's like a heavy cigar smoker, and now he's just like barely able to breathe on this respirator.
Exactly.
So they're just kind of weaving in a real subtle, like, smoking is bad, but they're being really subtle about it. They're not shoving it in our face.
No. And that's the thing about this. It's never preachy.
No.
I mean, for many people, Batman is a character who is... Nah, I'm fine. He's this character who is monologue-y and very deep about his convictions.
Yeah.
To the point where he will actually tell the reader what he's thinking.
And again,
but
they
don't do that.
I'm sorry. It's just that they actually even work in a joke for that. It's not very healthy in here. And Salvatore just gives that 1 second. And of course, here we have O'Neill and Adams.
Yes.
As in Denny O'Neill and
Neil Adams.
Yep. The Denny O'Neill, who's famous for the comics, and
Neil Adams, who wrote
a lot for the, it was for the television series, wasn't it?
No, they were the famous duo who did the comics from like 54 to 80 some odd.
Right. Now, I love this line here. I diapered your bottom, so I bloody well ought to know everything about you, sir. Well, you're wrong. And, this is... here comes another thing. I hate to say it, but Bruce Timm did it first. Alfred given that moment where he's like, I've known you since I first heard these cries echo throughout this house.
Yeah.
Although here it's played a little bit more, pissy, whereas that one was a little bit more...
tearjerker.
Yeah. I actually remember watching that scene in the theater and getting like, oh my God. is getting harsh. Because Michael Caine, towards the end of it, was like, dude, when he was starting to weep, I failed you. I was like, oh my God, Alfred, don't cry. You're making me cry. All right, here we go. Back to the flashback. And now look at Wayne Manor. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
Exactly. And it's got that rare, very rare moment of sunlight on it.
Mm-hmm. Because almost always it's cast in shadow. Even during when he's older, it's almost always kept in the shadows. And oh man, dude,
a cigarette box.
Well, again, Batman's never been good at romantic things, especially later throughout his career. But this right here, man, dude, look how happy he could have been. Mm-hmm. But of course, the curse of Batman is about to...
it's about to hit him like a wrecking ball.
Or as they're calling it in the movie, the plan. Mm-hmm. And I'm changing the plan. Dude, thank you, but... Dude, again, the omen of the bat comes back out. It's as if it's as if his parents are literally reaching out of the grave to say, "No, you promised, Bruce."
And the fact that you have all those bats coming out of a crevice, very similar to that scene in Batman Begins.
Yeah, totally.
Bruce Timm did it first.
Oh my God, yes. But again, folks, when we say Bruce Timm or Joel Schumacher, whatever, did it first. Again, these are beats just taken out of the they're just taken.
They resonate.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Because Batman has like specific notes that you kind of have to keep that work in right moments like that. Mm-hmm. And okay, here's the dude that we saw earlier, looking through him, and he's like, "Argh." And
check out that nose, man.
And already, there's a connection between him and Bruce. With this kind of look at each other, like they're all like, we're gonna be big enemies later, and you have no idea how big their enemies are gonna be.
Yeah.
And I love this Batman exploring the cave again, doing it first. And this is just heartbreaking, man. Where Bruce gets a note from Andrea and the ring, where he's like, left with Dad, gotta go, need time, and too young. Forget about me.
Yeah.
Now, they actually made a comic book adaptation because I got it with the VHS, and I actually have it here now. When that moment happens, and I'm glad that they didn't do it in the movie because they did it in the book, when he gets the news, he shouts, "No!" And it's much more dramatic where he just hangs his head. Now, this here, the birth of Batman. The music is key to this scene. Not just the atmosphere, but the music.
And just look how everything is in black, too.
Yep. Now, watch this. Everything's quiet. And then as soon as the mask goes in his hand, the music pumps up. He puts on the mask and sees the true face of himself.
Put it on backwards.
And Bruce looks him straight in the eye. And the music with Alfred's reaction, my God. When he walks into the shadows, man, that's it.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne is dead.
He is the Batman.
That moment right there, I thought was probably that's probably my second favorite moment in the whole movie because Jesus H. Christ, when the music, when you see the look in his eyes, is terrifying.
Batman, Grand Theft Art.
You're terrible. Ruining this dramatic moment. But I think actually the reason why Alfred said, "My God," isn't because other than the fact that Bruce now looks batshit scary, that, no pun intended. He's also looking at the dude that he raised from infancy, transform into something of the shadow.
Yeah,
into something that he never thought he'd go to. And that really is a great character moment.
The fact that all these still work, though, that's impressive to me.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
because who is it? And I love this line. I hate that song. Gasp! It's the Clown Prince of Crime, Mark Hamill. Oh man, isn't it great that they got the great Mark Hamill to be in this movie? It's just great.
Fun fact: did you know that they were originally going to have Tim Curry do the voice of the Joker?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Well, you've heard Batman.
Definitely, dude. But for all you cats out there, Rocky Horror Picture Show is supposed to be the Joker. Which would have been kind of cool to consider, but you know what? Mark Hamill just hits the nail right on the head.
Yeah.
And because I love this little, ooh, business! Sounds like fun!
Come! Oh, God.
And watch the valuables!
Ooh!
This guy's got to be, like, super old, too.
Yeah.
So he's quite literally gonna give this guy a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't give a fuck. Whee! Oh, man. Mark Hamill Joker is the best. And I love this moment right here when he comes in and there's the dog.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm home. And again, see, he's already having an asthma moment. Home security system. Down rusty. Because that's the thing. Mark Hamill Joker is sincerely funny.
Yeah.
Sincerely funny. Look at this. What? Meatloaf again? I had it for lunch. And, okay, I think this was before Harley Quinn, so...
Actually, she was already in the series by this point.
Oh, really?
This is just a one-off Joker thing.
Okay, so, well... He traded out for... Personally, I think Harley's way hotter than his current muse. Now, and of course, now we got Abe Vigoda. I can't get over the fact that that's Abe Vigoda.
Guano Man.
But he's coming over to say, we got to get rid of this guy. This isn't a joke. We're not going to solve... Hey, you know what? Here we go again. But actually, no. What was it? Tim Burton already had the mobsters coming after the Joker to ice the bat.
Yeah.
So Nolan didn't do it first this time.
Again.
Or Bruce Timm didn't do it first this time either.
And
I love this part right here where the background actually turns red.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Don't touch me, old man. I don't know where you've been.
And it's just a very subtle Tiny Toons thing because that's where Bruce Timm got his start animating this show was Tiny Toons.
Yeah, so it's very, very over the top, but it's never like completely over the top. It's
exactly.
Just the right amount. And now this part right here I thought was creepy. A nice big smile. Yeah. That close-up that's uncomfortably close. Now, I love this. Andrea spots Bruce.
Yeah, she knows what to look for.
Dude, that's really good. But because I want to know if she got like training like Bruce did. And there he is. Can you imagine just looking at that from a distance? The woman you once loved is like,
yeah.
You can, because just looking at that shot where he was just standing there in the dark was like,
oof.
Yeah. She's not even a bit surprised, despite the fact of appearing right in front of him. Yeah. See. Theatricality and deception, powerful agents to the uninitiated. But Andrea is initiated.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, here we go. Batman doing more detective work. He was doing more detective work than the two live-action movies that had preceded this. Isn't that wonderful? Or is that depressing? I don't know which. Either way, we get Batman coming in. Now, I still don't know quite why Andrea's being such a dick in this scene. I don't know why. Because, watch this blow. The way I see it, the only person being controlled by his parents is you.
Ouch.
Dude. When you bring up Batman's parents...
That's a low blow. Just, dude.
I mean, why exactly is she being such a dick in this moment? I don't know why. Because, I mean, right here, clearly she feels sorry for what she said. Like, devastated. But I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And here we go, the Phantasm again. And again, I love the score. This score is... I keep overpraising the score, but it really is the best.
You can't praise it enough, though.
Because that is just... with that image, it's just awesome. And this is awesome. Oh, man, this is a great moment in the movie where... Salvalastra, your angel a death of waste. What a twist! It is M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh.
Whoops! Now, if he really is dead, does that mean every time the Joker is released his poison smiling gas, what gives that really creepy look on people?
Oh yeah, just the rictus grin there.
Yeah, does that mean that he really did kill all those people in the past animated series?
It's possible.
I love how they always kind of ambiguously stem over that. Like that's how they got it past the censors, obviously. But here, obviously Sal did not make it. Now here again, the music is just huge. Look at this, man.
And check out the plane.
Oh, dude. And I love the sound of this. And this is probably my favorite track in the movie, besides the main theme, the big chase.
Yeah.
I highly recommend you guys go online and or back into stores or whatever, get the score, the expanded score to this movie, because it is outstanding.
It's incredible.
And Shirley Walker actually, before her death, actually stated that this movie score is actually her favorite composition. So you can tell that this was definitely huge. And I love this part. Now, does that voice sound familiar? Perhaps Carl Beaumont? It is the same guy. Whoa! But now here comes the cops. Now this moment coming right here where he disappears into the smoke and the chopper comes up. This part is straight up year one. Like now this cop chase is done way better than the one at the end of Dark Knight. This is huge.
Yeah.
Listen to the music, the horns.
And also check out how large scale it is too.
Yeah, but again, the music is just huge, man. Huge. Even the Deadly Forces author. Look at those gunshots, man. They're huge. Seriously, if you're watching this on a laptop, stop this commentary right now. Stop the movie right now and plug in some badass speakers.
Yeah.
This sequence is huge. You thought The Dark Knight was huge in theaters. This one's even bigger. Just not just really from the scope of the movie, but just from the breadth of it. And I love this. And you can tell I've been waiting for this for a long time. And because Harvey Bullock has had a real history with Batman.
Yeah.
Always. He's always like, it's going to be me and you. I'm not talking law. And now here we go. Again, we got Batman cornered in a construction site, just like in year one.
Exactly.
And I think they're like totally ripping this off.
Oh,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Who cares? Because one, it doesn't look a whole lot like the actual comics. And at the same time, it's definitely a completely different sequence.
And by this point, we've also seen another really big Batman chase sequence like this in the animated series before, with On Leather Wings.
Oh yeah, dude, but it was not as big as this. I mean, look at that.
I mean, he's making mistakes. That's huge.
Yeah, and that not to mention that explosion almost straight up killed him.
Yeah.
This is something that they rarely did in the animated series, but they were able to get away with the movie. He's bleeding.
Yeah.
He's got some serious head trauma, and there's animated blood, man. You don't. I think you saw that for the very first episode, On Leather Wings, like he said. That's the only time they ever let Batman bleed in the animated series. But here, because it's the movie, they're like, well, fuck it, let's go for it. And since then, they've been really liberalized since the DC animated movies came out.
Yeah.
This moment right here is awesome. Just boom, boom, fire! Boom! They just light it up.
All of the bullets.
Light him up, and I love this. It rips away to reveal a post.
Yeah.
Now, here's the moment in this chase sequence where I thought the music is absolutely the best. Where, dude,
I'm surprised he doesn't have the secondary mask.
He felt like 20 stories right there.
Exactly.
But, dude, you can tell if they get within 20 feet, he's dead.
Yeah.
Because it's Bruce Wayne now that they're chasing, not Batman. And they're right on his heels, and here comes Andrea right out of the blue. Man, she's more Johnny on the spot than Batman. and
there's
Bullock.
that red thing again too with
Yep, but Bullock, dude,
he's
he is pissed off. Yeah, and right here we can see definitely that Batman definitely got a concussion from that one. Holy shit! I mean,
can you imagine how many concussions Batman has had?
I can only imagine just how many injuries he's had in his entire career. Because they kind of do it in The Dark Knight, where Batman's kind of stitching himself up in the Bat bunker, and you can see all the scars. but there's this Alex Ross painting that I think captures it the best. It's Batman topless with the cowl in the background kind of hanging up, and it's one of those really nice paintings, like those photorealistic paintings.
Yeah, well, it's Alex Ross.
Yeah, black and white, and it's just him kind of looking over his shoulder, and his back is facing you, and it's just cut to pieces, man. I mean, maybe that's the reason why Batman doesn't necessarily want to take all the pussy that he gets thrown at to bed, because I'm sure they take one look at him and like, oh my God, Bruce, what did you do?
And then there's also Widening Gyre.
Yeah,
and Walt Flanagan did a fantastic job of doing that too.
Yeah, even the Batman Hush series where Catwoman was in there, and he's like, everyone carries a memory, and then Catwoman's like, most people just opt for a photo album. And here we have Carl, Buzz Bronski, and Salvatore Valestra kind of pulling this Goodfellas routine right here, saying, you better pay up now or we're going to have your heart is going to be in my hand.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but these mobsters really are kind of the low point of the movie because they don't, the movie is pretty tight, and these guys aren't given a whole lot of screen time, maybe except for Sal Valestra right here because of his smoking in that breather you saw earlier in the movie. They just don't have a whole lot of character to them other than big, tough mobsters. So they're kind of the low point of the movie for me.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So, but again, it's not to say the rest of the movie isn't fantastic because we've praised it enough already. But every movie has its faults, and I got to say that these mobsters are kind of the low point. But you know what? I guess that's okay because at least Carl Beaumont here sells it with this really panicked moment here because they'll find us and kill us both. I mean, you can Jesus.
Oh yeah, the stakes are high here.
And this is actually a really cool backstory of how we learned why Andrea had to run away. Although I still wish that she wasn't a complete dick about it and actually wrote a letter to Bruce saying, "This is what happened. Can you help?"
Yeah, but dude, there's no time.
Well, think about it. Hey, we need money right now, and I'm about to get married to a billionaire.
Yeah,
that's probably the biggest flaw in this entire movie. That's probably the biggest gaping plot hole of this movie.
Yeah, but there's a certain...
Bruce and I are about to be married. Wait, Bruce? The billionaire? Can he loan me some money? Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't want blood money like these guys do.
Yeah.
And everything would have been solved, and Bruce wouldn't have been Batman and be happy. Why?
Yeah, but then there'd be no point in bloody telling the story, now would there?
Or this gratuitous sex scene right here. Alfred's always walking in.
Oh God!
I mean, can you imagine? Like Alfred's just like, God, Bruce, do you always have to get it on like right at the moment when I walk in?
My question is, what would it be like to read Alfred's diary?
Oh. He's like, well,
March 23rd.
I walked on Mr. Bruce again. This time it was the 69 position.
Oh! I'm not sure that there's a word for the position I saw today.
That's actually a really sexy shot right there. Because is she wearing anything below the waist? Probably
we don't know.
And again, he's happy again. Why? Why didn't you just give Carl Beaumont some money before they left for Europe? They could have helped him, man. You're Batman. You help people. Oh man. Oh well. But and again, but besides that gaping plot hole, the point of the story is, what if Batman had a choice to not be Batman and be happy? And here he is again with the same dilemma before he even became Batman. He still loves her, and there's still a possibility. And he's really considering it. Because, he's already paid his debt. His parents really do seem like they might be happy with it. But who knows?
And I do love the way that they designed his parents, too.
Yeah.
Because he does actually look like the result of those two having
Not to mention they got some real presents. And speaking of presents, here's your present for the night. Plot twist!
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Remember that moment where he just tosses the cigarette at the car and they both have this moment where they look at each other and knowing they're going to be foes for the rest of their lives?
Mm-hmm.
That is, they don't even know it yet.
Exactly.
And right here, 4 Gotham precincts were on Batman's heels and he still got away.
Oh, yeah.
Unreal, man.
Oh, and check out the hat.
Yep. Actually, that's very reminiscent of the episode The Laughing Fish,
Mm-hmm.
where he walks in. He's like, presenting the Joker! Of course.
Oh, Auntie, I'm crushed.
And now we realize that this is the Jack Napier.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's never really mentioned. It was mentioned a couple of times in the animated series.
Yeah.
That his real name is Jack Napier, just like from the 1989 movie.
Mm-hmm.
But now we really get a sense of the Joker's past before Joker.
Yeah.
Which is super rare, man.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they were working for, he was working for Salvatore, Buzz Bronski, and
it ain't the Bat.
Yeah, and Chucky Saul. It's more like the Ghost of Christmas Future. Well, granted, he does.
Yeah, he
the
really
Phantasm
does.
look like that, and that's totally the idea. Because I think he's there to be the Phantasm is there to be its own thing, but be enough of Batman to frame him.
Yeah,
which it definitely works to his advantage. Because, and now we're starting to find out that Councilman Reeves here also is not only in cahoots with the Joker, but also with the dead mobsters.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had that before.
Yeah, we did. It was super brief. I mean, we really don't get the extent, and we'll see just how damaging things are in a few minutes. But, and here we got Andrea, just who they were talking about, and Joker.
Check out the car phone.
Yeah. I love that Art Deco stuff. But again, here we go. Ain't that a coinky-dink? We're talking about the old man, and the spawn of his loins just happens to call. It's a great line. I love that. And dude, this part right here is just fucking creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, what does he even do to him?
I
don't even want to know, dude.
Yeah.
Because this is Joker. Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And the laugh that's echoing throughout the hospital and into Gotham, fucking creepy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, what was his name? Hart Bachner.
Yeah.
He just sells that laugh, dude.
Yeah, he does.
He must, although, to be fair, he's faring a lot better than Sal Valestra did.
Oh, yeah. He's
also
also got several years on Valestra, too.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious if Joker actually went soft on him.
That might be.
Because this might be extreme, but Jesus, man, it's Joker we're talking about here. Although I'm kind of surprised that he didn't just straight up, kill him.
Yeah.
Because there's a moment coming up where if he did kill him, there would be the plot would probably drag a little bit longer. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
because this movie is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
With this right here.
Oh yeah, just the creeping.
Yikes! Why did the Joker meet with you? Kevin Conroy will.
Oh, Kevin Conroy,
dude! When he interrogates one of the any criminal in the series, it's just the most chilling performance that he. I honestly don't want to piss off Kevin Conroy in real life.
Oh,
in case otherwise this voice might come out because Batman's very scary.
Oh yeah, you would totally piss yourself.
Jesus Christ! I mean, can you? If he has kids, can you imagine when he gets really angry at his kids or something like that? And you're just staring up at this really tall guy because I think he's 6'2" in real life.
Yeah, he's 6'2" and rather lanky.
Yeah, and looking up at this guy with that voice, you'd be like, I'm scared now. Because and now this moment right here was so you sold them to the mob, and all he says all they wanted was their money back. And if you remember earlier, they said they wanted this.
God, that shot was great.
But they said they wanted the interest compounded in blood. just when you hear that moment where he's like, all they wanted was their money back.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, oh, geez, that's devastating.
Yeah.
So now we got, okay, Batman's now creeping on Andrea. I'm surprised he hasn't done this already. Considering he heard that she was back in town. But again, I guess as they say, or as Batman's
I feel like having her hide the Phantasm costume. Oh, shit, sorry.
Spoilers! Fuck it, it's all right. Because for one thing, that they spoiled the movie big time when it came out because there was an action figure of the Phantasm, but it was boxed where the mask was separate, and you saw who it was underneath. So they kind of inadvertently gave away the ending of the movie, which kind of sucks. But you know what? Who cares? That's probably a really wonderful collectible anyway. Because it's a nice little token of Batman history.
Have you seen the latest action figures for the series?
Oh, no, I haven't. I need to check them out.
So pretty.
I need more money. For all you listeners out there, and you're looking for Christmas presents for me, those Batman figures won't be out of the question. Yeah. I love this moment right here. My party's been disconnected. And Mark Hamill just chewing it up with that one great laugh after another. And here we go. It's not we find out the Phantasm is Andrea Beaumont. Yeah, thanks, John, for giving it away like all of 90 seconds beforehand.
It was bothering me, but really, the idea that she would hide the costume in her closet is kind of a bad idea.
Well, of course. I mean, we've seen how smart she is. Yeah. And I love this moment right here where he just takes an apple and all you hear is the scream. That was awesome. And it turns out the Joker is also responsible for her father's death.
Yeah. And finally, she's going to get the bastard.
Yep. Although, isn't it interesting that Joker was responsible for Bruce Wayne's parents' death in the movie, and now he's responsible for the love interest's parents' death? Tim Burton did it first? And here we go again with... now, this line always felt a little off. Joker, your angel of death awaits.
Yeah.
Just this... It shouldn't have been Jack Napier.
Then a cockroach on steroids.
And, it was actually a really clever idea to use the same voice as Carl Beaumont to voice the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Because it really would have been that's a really good red herring. Although, I feel like with one more small touch-up of a rewrite, they really could have made that sell. But, this is, it's animation. They got a limited amount of time and money. So not a whole lot of time to do that sort of thing. But even so. Now, dude.
Yeah, he's brutal in this one.
No kidding. I love this part. And whammy!
Yeah!
Ow!
You're not... Ouch.
And now this I thought was really creepy as a kid. That is... What am I looking at?
Yeah.
Made you look. Now, this could have gone really badly right here. Punching the fuck out of Joker and a choice between bologna and a meat cleaver. Thank God we got a taste of bologna.
That glass is probably double laminated or double paned.
Well, it was this is a pretty old and abandoned exhibit, so...
Yeah, but glass does not degrade that fast.
It's the comics, dude. It's comic books. Again, one of those things... Remember, we just pointed out a huge plot hole in this movie. Like, gaping. Like, I'm talking Dark Knight Rises worthy plot hole. So, but still, this reigns as the better Batman movie. Especially for its time, because boy, do we need Batman at this kind of time.
Oh God, no capes.
Oh God, right, right.
No capes.
Well, she already took off her cape.
Yeah, she did.
But still, yikes. And where's Batman? Where's Batman to save the day? There's Batman
on a motorcycle.
Take off your cape now, Batman.
No capes.
No capes. Yeah, that's a really cool animation right there. I wonder if that was rotoscoped.
I don't think so.
Well, because I mean, it's moving a lot more fluidly because animation is actually moved 12. It has only 12 frames every second as opposed to film in 24. But sometimes, when they want to go the extra step, they will do
the 24 frames.
Yep, because just to save money, they only do half the amount of frames per second that film does. And as you can see throughout the whole movie, that's the way it's been done. And it's been done that way for almost 40 years.
Something like that.
And it looks just, I mean, to the eye, it's totally fine. And here he is, Batman, world's greatest detective, figuring it all out for us. Now, here's another really interesting point. What if Batman did take the vengeance route?
Be interesting.
Yeah. Because, I guess it's more of just putting... Because this is like Catwoman with a vengeance.
Yeah.
The one who has been trained, who is Batman's equal, in both intelligence and in cunning.
Yeah. Ooh, deep cut. Deep cut.
Yep.
Ooh.
Man. And I also want Andrea to make it out okay, because, spoilers, she actually comes back for one episode, no spoken parts, for one episode in Batman Beyond, which I thought was the
actually
coolest
it's in
thing.
Justice League Unlimited.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was still like a crossover for Batman Beyond. She comes back as
the episode is called Epilogue.
Yeah, she comes back to murder Terry McGinnis's parents to create the Batman of the future, but she refuses to do so. Right here we get this is really straight. Look, the Warner Brothers logo. I love that, right? I love that little detail.
Also, that looks like Lex Tower.
It totally does, yeah. And, of course, we have the walking Chrysler building. That is...
You'd think that because Batman knows Gotham City, he'd know that would be the place that isn't right.
I never thought about that before. Batman's slipping up. But then again, he did have, a really heartbreaking moment with Andrea, so...
Yeah.
Slipped up a bit. Ooh. Although that's a big slip up. And... This I thought was really extreme. Boom! Yeah. Blood and lost a tooth. Joker. It's serious. That's a lot of blood, man.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood in this sequence because these little... Are these airplanes or helicopters?
I think... Oh, they're
both.
Yeah.
they're hella planes. And more blood,
hella
see,
planes.
Dude?
Yeah.
More blood. Batman gives a lot of blood in this movie, man.
It reminds me of a scene from Christmas with the Joker.
Yeah.
Well, they don't call you Batman for nothing.
Oh my gosh, yes. Actually, in the I'm going back to the comic adaptation because when I was a kid, I got this on VHS, and there was a comic book adaptation that came with it.
And he just smashed
it
with his hand, dude.
And
that's metal,
right? And here he comes, boom, swishing down, and I love this. Catches it with his cape, and you can see by the end of it, it's completely torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, he's just having a kind of a bad day anyway.
Oh, he's having a really bad day. Batman has a ton of bad days. But this line in the comic is actually changed a little bit, where it says, in 2 minutes, everything goes up in the biggest blast since the Asylum Christmas party.
Oh,
so a nice little
switcheroo.
Yeah, definitely.
And that happens a lot, especially when you have film adaptations in comics. Like in the Empire Strikes Back comic, the original line is the one that was in the script.
Yeah,
the "I'll be back," not "I know."
Nice.
I actually have that here if you want to
definitely.
take a
I'm
look
going to
at
have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And here we go. Joker, again, Mark Hamill's just chewing this scenery. He gives the best laughs of his career in this movie. And he's had a long career, ladies and gents. Everything from the animated series to the Superman animated series to all the DC animated movies and, of course, the Arkham Asylum games.
Yeah.
But in here, he's probably got his greatest... This is probably his finest performance. Although I'd really like to see if he can top it in the Killing Joke. That's coming up pretty soon. That's going to be awesome.
Oh, dude.
Yep. And again, the music in these scenes were just awesome. And now, do you notice that Joker's actually kind of concerned about getting out of this alive?
Yeah, for once.
For once, he's concerned whether or not he'll live or not.
Whatever it takes.
Usually, yes, and Batman's the one like, I don't give a fuck if we die.
Yeah.
If I die, I'm taking you with. Because normally that's the other way around.
Exactly.
So I don't know. That's the one thing that I kind of thought was weird about the consistency about Joker is sometimes he cares, sometimes he doesn't care.
I still like his line in Cacophony though with I never counted.
Yeah.
And even if you do die, I'm still going to continue this.
Yep. And you look at all the blood, man. Jesus. Take a fucking vacation.
I know, right?
Oh, man, dude. And you know she is here for a suicide mission.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. And this is probably going to be the biggest boom in all of the Batman universe movies. Not just the movies, but in the entire animated series. Look at this. I mean, he said, what, 3 miles filled of tunnels, and they're all filled with explosives?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, dude. You would have thought an atom bomb went off outside of Gotham. Although, you know, that wasn't to happen until Dark Knight Rises. And again, the choir right here.
And again, the exploding girlfriends thing.
Yep. But, dude,
Bruce Timm did it first.
This choir right here, dude, it is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that laugh along with it. And there she goes. Andrea's supposedly gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, you know, just fucking sucks. And
boom.
Here's where Batman gets fucking lucky. He gets thrown down into the sewers, and basically all he has to do is, you know, not drown and just stay limp enough to let the flow of the water take him out. Because,
and, oh, God. He's got cuts all over, you know?
Man,
he's going to have such infection. Jesus!
Alfred's going to have to really pull through on this one tonight.
Yeah.
And boom. Love that score. I can't say it enough, folks. Love that score. Holy Jesus.
Oh, just look at the color in that.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is that moments like this is probably one of the most compelling moments for me for superheroes, where they're like, I couldn't save someone. I was just short of that. And now we also establish right here Batman neutral.
Yeah.
This is it. And I love that line that Alfred mutters, vengeance blackens the soul.
Yeah.
You walk that abyss every night, and I'm thankful that you haven't fallen in. But Andrea fell into that pit years ago, and no one, not even you, could have pulled her out.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Because Andrea is Batman's equal, she still has a trick or two up her sleeve.
Yeah.
I really wonder if old Bruce held on to that.
I'd imagine he would.
But I kind of wish that they brought that locket back. Cause,
yeah, just
man, that is
even if it's only in the trophy room.
For a second. Because, man, what a loss for him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is like him losing his parents all over again.
Well,
man.
If you remember in Return of the Joker, no, wait. It's not Return of the Joker. It's the episode Out of the Past.
Yeah, where he looks through all the women of his life.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Including Lois Lane, also who's the same voice as Andrea.
Yeah.
This moment right here I thought was just really, really sad. Did you want to be alone? I am. That's just...
That's devastating.
Mm-hmm. And right here, the music.
Yeah.
This music right here is Batman. I kind of want this sequence right here to be the opening, because the violins and then it is huge. The choir makes it. Again, you can not only feel the atmosphere of Gotham City and the mythos of the Batman legend, but you can also feel the triumph, and I love this. Phew! The triumph of Batman conquering his fears and getting over his parents' deaths to become the Batman of the night that we all know. Then that's right there. That's Batman, The Mask of the Phantasm. Still the best Batman movie that was ever released in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Conroy's Batman, the Batman who we will always hear reading comics as a kid. Always, man. Here we have Stacy Keach Jr. as Carl Beaumont, and Abe Vigoda, dude. Abe fucking Vigoda, man. I actually looked at the IMDb list, and I'm like, get the fuck out, dude. Abe Vigoda is in this movie. That is just...
Yeah.
Pimp, man.
Well, they always had a really great voice cast.
Oh, really? And Andrea Romano's voice direction is, to this day, legend. I mean, she's still kicking ass in the studios nowadays.
She does the voice direction for SpongeBob SquarePants.
You're kidding.
No, she does.
That's why I love this show so much as a kid, right?
Oh, yeah. She also did the voice direction for Animaniacs.
Yep.
I mean,
that's pretty much
pick a show.
Oh, God.
She does the...
Pretty much. I mean, she's like your go-to voice director for just about any show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this this song right here, this is actually performed by, I think, Tina Fey. And if you don't know who Tina Fey is...
I don't think it's Tina Fey.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. You might want to look it up. But if I'm wrong... it's because I know it's the woman who was the excuse me, the femme fatale in James Cameron's movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because it turns out this is like one of the few times that because she does have a singing career, but this is like one of the few times where she actually got some serious publicity for her singing career.
All right.
Yeah. But you might want to look at the soundtrack.
I'm looking.
The soundtrack I meant.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find it.
Well, just like Google the actual soundtrack.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I assure you
we're totally professionals.
Oh yeah, definitely. We don't need Google for any of this stuff. We have it all memorized.
Right.
But another thing to take away from this, and it's still consistent with the animated series, although it's been pumped up a bit for this movie and obviously some of the other movies. The sound design, like the Foley and the just the atmosphere of the sound, it's actually a lot better done than most people give it credit for. Because just the sound, because here we are. Tia Carey, that's it. She's the one. She was actually the villain in True Lies.
Lolita Ritmanis.
And look at this synthesist Hans Zimmer.
Whoa! Really? What?
Hans Zimmer was working. What? Hans Zimmer worked on a Batman movie in 1993 before he did Chris Nolan. Isn't that awesome? Okay, just so you know, folks, John his mouth is like as wide as the fucking Grand Canyon right now. You gonna be okay, John?
God damn it!
What? That's awesome.
It is awesome and very fantastically interesting.
I know, right?
And now we get all the time.
Well, he's okay. The ones with James Newton Howard are significantly better than Dark Knight Rises, although except for that Bane chant, because I'm a big fan of that Bane chant.
Motto, Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I will admit, because I was listening to the Batman theme in Dark Knight Rises, just listening to the soundtrack, and I'm like, man, this theme kind of went downhill after James Newton Howard left. Because when James Newton Howard was on, it was like spot on.
Yeah.
Man. It was just right. But yeah, Hans Zimmer, and it's interesting that Hans Zimmer didn't do the traditional thing where he's like, I'm going to steal this and make it better.
Exactly.
Well, you know what, Hans Zimmer, you can't make this better because, damn it, Shirley Walker made the best goddamn Batman composition ever.
I am in total agreement.
Oh God, because it's really hard to capture all at once the essence of Gotham City, the mythos of Batman, the dark, brooding creature of the night, who also has a really tragic backstory that he had to fight to get over.
Yeah.
And it's all encapsulated in that one piece in composition. And when you hear it on this big, on big speakers, or even just in your earbuds, it just sounds huge. Listen to it at night. you will see shadows moving just like Batman throughout.
Now, the movie's over at this point.
Yes.
It has been for at least a minute. So,
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
I mean, what can't we say? Again, this is the best Batman we're ever going to get.
Exactly.
And you know what? I really wish that that all the animated stuff didn't go straight to direct-to-video, because they're doing way better job than any of the new stuff that DC's doing. I mean, Green Lantern, Man of Steel, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Get those guys, give them a script, and have them helm the script and produce a movie, and
just give the DC universe to these guys, because they clearly know what they're doing and they're very passionate about it.
Oh my God!
And they know exactly what the fans want too.
Well, they know how to balance it out, and they've worked with these characters for years.
Exactly, they have experience.
Give them the screenplay rights and give them producer rights, so they have good creative control. Hire a director and make that movie into a live action thing, dude.
Because nothing in this movie couldn't be done with practical effects.
Oh God, yeah. And if you look at some of the DC animated movies, granted, you still need like a lot of big Hollywood production things to back it up, but it's a superhero movie. We kind of
I think the biggest thing that they would have to do with this movie, if they were to do it live action, would be the big explosion at the end.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, because and even that could be kind of CG. Well, it was the 90s, but so you have to be a little bit more careful, because 1993 was Jurassic Park, and that was when CG exploded. So even then, they still had to do that. You made a pun. That's not funny at all.
You made the pun first, man.
Whatever. So yeah, folks, that's it. Batman and Mask of the Phantasm. Seriously, pick up this DVD. In some stores, you can actually find Sub-Zero or Batman Return of the Joker, the Batman Beyond movie, as a 2-pack. Get them. And
watch them, enjoy them.
Watch them. If you've got a big screen, put that shit on, turn the volume up, dim the lights, and enjoy. Even just get the soundtrack, guys. Cause I cannot stress enough that this soundtrack is the Batman score of the ages. Because I have all the Batman soundtracks. I've got the first 2 volumes of the animated series. I've got the one from 89 Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and all 3 of the Chris Nolan movies, plus the Dark Knight Returns soundtrack, the animated movie soundtrack. Yeah. And out of all of them, this one hits home the best.
Both. Yeah.
I think the one that came kind of close, because I can kind of imagine the Batman music starting out with Danny Elfman and like, oh, it's amazing. Shirley Walker took it
and then took it more.
Well, modified it slightly in the right new direction, or the right quote unquote right direction, and then with Mask of the Phantasm, she kicked it into the high gear and found the perfect note.
Now, honestly, there's only one Batman animated movie that I can't find the score for.
Batman Mystery of the
Batwoman.
Yep, Mystery of the Batwoman.
Yeah,
because that one was, that's actually a pretty underrated flick, actually.
It really is. We should do that as a comm track at some point.
Some point, definitely. I think maybe sometime in the summer or something like that, when things start to kind of slow down. But, dude, this has been a really nice, rousing first episode. I really hope you cats out there enjoyed, listening to us yak on for about 2 hours. Because we enjoyed it. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, because, it's just fun to listen to hear what. Well, you know what? I take that back. Now that it's all over, I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say about this movie. What are some of the memories that you had? Just comment below and share with us and like us and all that good stuff. So for now, I think it's time to sign off. I'm Tim Leifheit,
and I'm Jonathan Knoell,
and you've been listening to Comtrack, where you'll never have to watch a movie alone again. Peace.